Welcome to this quick demonstration of the application duplicate detection tool for Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So I will just go ahead and show few slides before I jump into the demo. The agenda I have in mind is briefly to give you overview of the application. The demonstration will go through of how you set up a quick rule and how you run the rule. The app is developed or is owned by Techdio, which consists of 4 partners, basically Damir, Claes, Hasrat, and myself. And beside the app, we are basically Microsoft partner located in Denmark, also working on becoming Salesforce partner. Our main focus is integrations, data integrations and migrations from various CRM solutions. And we are also Click Dimensions certified partner. With that said, let's look in how does this application work. But before that, so basically what is it? It's basically an app designed for Microsoft CRM, and the typical scenario is you will be able to download it from the Microsoft App Store. It's a certified app, obviously, and the approach is you download the app, import it, the solution, publish it, and basically we'll find it under your settings. And the approach will be you define your duplicate detection rules. That's what we will show in the demo. We run the rule, then we have the option to define some merge, how to merge, how to auto merge the found duplicates. And the last but not least, how do we prevent users to create duplicates in CRM? The current supported versions of CRM is 2011 up to 2016, the current version, and obviously on-premise, IFD, etc. are all supported. The app can be experimented by downloading a trial version, and which basically is limited to 1 rule and 10 auto merge rules or rows per bulk detection job. You are obviously welcome to download and experiment with it and see if it's something you can utilize it within your organization. But the main question is why duplicate detection? I mean, while Microsoft CRM default duplicate detection job is good, it obviously has some gaps, and this is where with our app we are trying to close these gaps, and the feedback we have been receiving from our existing customers is really great because it just shows that we have the right approach of managing duplicates in CRM. If we look into the existing limitations of the default duplicate detection rule, as you probably know, even though once the user is creating a duplicate, you can prompt them with a notification that you are creating a duplicate. That's for many organizations is not sufficient because the user is still able to save the record, and which is basically where the key challenge is of having the duplicates, that the user has still has the option to bypass the notification window and save it. And then you don't have the option to decide, when the rule is triggered, if it's triggered during create or update. Once the user gets this duplicate detection notification within the default solution, there is the view which is presented to the users. It cannot be customized. It's hard-coded, so that means that it's often difficult to get overview of what the duplicate record contains. As we mentioned, duplicates can still be saved. You do not have the default solution does not support server-side So everything created through an integration user, etc. It can be a middleware scribe, etc. It will still ignore the default rule. A lot of forum posts out there commenting that greater than 5,000 duplicates cannot be run against if your base database contains more than 5,000 records. For some reason, the duplicate detection job stops working. And the also a key challenge is that once you capture all this duplicate, you still have manually to merge it, where with our solution you will briefly see how we can make an auto merge rule. And last but not least, when you create the default duplicate detection rules, you have only 450 character limitation, which basically what it means is that you cannot add as many rules as you want before you will meet this 450 character limitation. As you can see here regarding this 450 character limitation, what I mean is that in this case, this is the default standard duplicate detection rule. We're setting it up. And once I choose that, I want to check if first name in the contact entity and last name has exact match, and email. Already now I have spent 202 characters. So if I just add 2 or 1 more, it will totally reach out to the limit. So in many scenarios we are involved in, this is one of the challenges our customers are facing as well. And so basically we're closing the gap. Our tool has great flexibility. You can decide which, for example, view you want to utilize to show the duplicates to your users. I will show this in a minute in the demo. You can prevent saving the record. As you can see here, you have the option to say they're not supposed to be able to save. And we have really nice advanced auto merge capabilities. We're gonna look to it in a second. So basically, this is a quick overview of some of our international customers. American bank running, for example, duplicates against 30-40 million records. We have Winsheim, a Dutch university who's using it. We have Harden and PFM, financial management, insurance, etc. Wonderful Copenhagen, the tourist organization of Denmark, and a lot of other interesting customers, as you can see here. These are obviously just a few snap of the customer base. But let's go and see how the tool works. So now I will switch to a quick demo environment I have here. And so first thing first, some housekeeping. So what I will do is that I have in this scenario a trial CRM organization. I have also deployed duplicate detection in trial mode, as you probably do, and to start with, and before you eventually purchase it. And then in this scenario, I have some duplicates, as you can see here. So I will go ahead and create a rule which I want to capture all contacts with exact email address. So under my setting here, now that I have deployed my duplicate detection, I click on it, and basically I will go and create my rule. And so I will call this rule name contacts with same or with exact emails. And this is basically the source entity in this scenario will be the contact entity here. For some reason, let me see here, contact. It should be not contract, but contact. There we go. And my source is contact and my target is contact as well. So basically, you can see we'll choose the contact here too. For example, if I was going to check if there was any leads against accounts which has been created, I would obviously choose my source entity lead and my target entity account. But in this case, both my source and target entity are the same as the contact. And the result view I want to display in active contacts, the view, the system view. I have the option to run it as system or as a user. If I run it as system, what it basically means is that if I have a user in business unit A and another user in business unit B, um, and both users can only see data with records within their own business unit, by setting this to yes, the system will be able to capture duplicates owned by different business units, despite of the user cannot see. And of course, we respect the security model. So it's not like the user will be able to see the record, no, but they will be able to see that this record exists in CRM. So this is a nice way to prevent some fights within the sales department that have different organizations across the world. But let's get back to the topic here. In this case, I will say when this rule needs to run, I will say it's fine during both create and update. Do I want to allow duplicates? I can decide if I want to allow. But basically, if I say yes, they will still be able to save. And if I say no, yeah, it's self-explanatory, I guess. Do I want to include inactive users? I don't want to do that in this example. And I want to enable it for list view, which basically will populate the bottom on the ribbon so I can execute the rule, or as a user, I have the option to execute the rule if that's what I want to do. So now that we have defined the main template for this rule, I will go ahead and save. And then the next thing I will do, I will define the attribute, basically which field I want to listen to and match against. So now we have said it's the contact record, and we want to create create a new record here. In this case, it's returning now all my attributes within the contact. So in this case, I will basically find my email here. Here you go, and I say both emails. This is where I want to match. There we go. So if my contact email is the same, then this will mean that this is a duplicate. And then I have obviously various actions I can fine tune it, but in this scenario, I will keep it as is. And I will save and close. So as you can see, now we have created a simple rule, which what will happen is that once I create a contact with the same email, I will get a notification, and I will not be able to create duplicate because I have said no. And I can also run this tool to check my database for duplicates. And what it will do is that I will go through my contact database and capture all the records that has the same email, and then it will give me the opportunity to merge automatically based on some predefined rules. In this scenario, so what I will do now that I have saved the rules, I will go basically to my contacts here. And just for the example, I will try to create a new rule or sorry, a new contact record. And in this case, I will just call it something, anything, and oh, we go. And the email, I will just type my email as I know that it's already a duplicate. And the next thing I would do, I would basically say save. And as you can see here, it's saying that I already have 4 duplicates with the name, and I cannot save this record because on the rule I decided that it's not possible to save, which is fine, and I can utilize any view if I want to show the user so they get more, or they can see the different informations if that's what they prefer. But in this case, now we have demonstrated that they cannot create new contacts with an exact email, and that's why you can prevent duplicate. Now, the second scenario I want to run through is I would like to run the rule toward my existing records. So again, I will go to my contacts here. I'm not saving this, it's fine. And what I will do, basically, I will just go ahead and run my duplicate detection. If I had more than one rule per entity, I would be able to choose it here. But in this case, I have only one. I'm running it in the foreground. And let's see. You will in a second see that it's processing, and you will in a second see that it starts to capture all the records that has the same email. And as you can see, it has found 4 entries. From here, I can basically open a report, send it to the users, and they can evaluate data, or I can say show all duplicates. And so after that, I have the overview. I would like to merge. So I will just click on my merge duplicate buttons here. And as we are running in trial mode, I have a 10 record limitation, but which is fine. On this window, on the left side, on the right side, sorry, I have all the fields that my contact entity contains. So I can choose which field to merge to the master. And on the left side, I have the option to define what is my master. I can even choose fetch XML and define any complex rule as I want, as you know. But to make it straightforward for most of customers, it's basically you have the option to choose to define your master record based on these 4 criteria. One of them is oldest to newest. So basically the oldest record will be preserved. So that will be the master. Everything else will be merged into that. And the oldest can be defined based on created on or modified on. Another thing is you can also have the opposite, newest to oldest. So the most recent record will be the master. Everything else will be merged into that. This is basically my favorite, most to least, in a way that the record that has most data, in this case, most activities, or the contact record that has field most fields. So basically, the record that has most data you can choose and decide that that is the master, or you also have the last option. Number 2 and number 3, or number 1, number 3 here, it's my favorite rules. In this case, I would say I want to preserve the record that has most, let's say, fields. And here on the last section here, I have the option also to include both related entities, one-to-many related entities to the contact record, but also, or to the contact entity, but also to many-to-many. So if I have a custom entity or whatever, which is a child or sub-entity to the contact record, I have the option to choose it from here and make sure that that record also merges together to the master record. But in this case, I'm not going to merge everything. This is something you have to experiment and make sure that you know what you're doing before you do it. So we always recommend you to test this in a test environment. If you're considering to include related records, there's always a risk, obviously, when you do that, but you know that as a CRM administrator. But in this case, so my merge job is just a simple merge where I want to merge everything into the record that has the most fields in. So that will be the master. And once I do that, I go ahead and start my merge and I confirm. And as you can see in a minute, my the app is scanning now and it starts to process. In a minute, I will get an overview here on the log, what it's doing. And as you will see in a minute, it's basically, going the system through and it starts to merge the record. It's saying, I have a timestamp here, which is saying, okay, the first record is merged with another record, Sakis-D with Sakis-SD, etc. And then the second record. So you will basically see everything here. And of course, a lot of customers ask, what if I have 5,000 duplicates or 10,000 duplicates? I cannot work. I have to keep this window open. Obviously not. Then you choose a background operation. which means that you basically install a web service on your PC or on your server, regardless where it is. Just allow that service to run, and this it will enable that this task runs in the background. But in this case, it's fine. As I can see now, the merge is complete. I know what it has done. I have the log field here. So let's close here and go back to our data and see where we basically what it has done. If I just close here 1 second, apologies for that. I can go to my, there we go, duplicate detection park results to get an overview. And as you can see here, it says based on the auto merge rules we have defined, it says this is your master record because it's the active one, and it has enabled the duplicates, while it has copied everything from the other records into the master record. So that was a quick demonstration of the duplicate detection for Microsoft Dynamics 365 app. If you have any questions or you need more detailed information, please feel free to contact us. And yeah, in the meantime, I hope that you download the trial app and experiment it on your own. And we are here to help you if you need anything. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye.